Alright gamers, welcome. This game we're going to be playing Caitlyn Rakan into Jhin Zac. Oh, hello. It could be a... yeah, Zac right there. That's fine. Jhin does not like super extended fights. Okay. Lucky? I don't think so. Yeah, as I said, Jhin does not like super extended fights. He does not do that much DPS. Wait, holy shit, we're already getting ganked. I can pop this cookie, but most likely I'm just dead. Okay, we did some damage. Wave state, I guess, should be fine. Overall, we're in a much better spot than Jhin from this. Okay, so I didn't even get to do my introduction. My plans for this... explain my plans for this video before we already got off to quite a lot of action. But anyway, so in this video we're going to be testing Hubris on Caitlyn. So this is mainly inspired by Expetus, the Shen one tricks new site called Coachless. I know this is going to sound like a sponsored segment, I swear it's not. I'm just interested in this subject. He's got a site where he basically uses machine learning to try and determine the viability of builds using like educated by win rate, but not as flawed as actual win rate is. Basically, he estimates the win like he'll judge the I think the way it works is that it judges the strength of builds by looking at the win probability of any given champion at a certain game time, by looking at factors like how ahead they are, how behind they are, how ahead their team is, what objectives they have, etc. And then based on that win probability, they look at, oh, so this champion purchased this item, and they were expected to have this win probability. Then they actually won or they lost. Was that above or below expectations? And so that actually gives them an idea of how effective an item is without just having to look at the win rate, which can be inflated by stuff like, well, maybe the champion was just really fed when they bought it, right? And that's generally what is the case with Hubris with every champion. Like, it's almost always the highest win rate item on any champion that could build it. This should be fine, yeah. It's almost always the highest win rate item on any champion that could build it. But, you know, it's a snowball item. Of course people build it when fed. So of course it's going to have the highest win rate. But just because the win rate is inflated, does that make it bad? No. So that's why they use that win probability system, because it says, oh, well, this champion was really fed. And then they bought Hubris, and they were expected to win. And maybe they actually won with... they had maybe 80% chance to win. And then actually they turns out they win 81% of the time. So they actually win more than they were expected to win, even though they were expected to win, you know? And they also look at, well, also these people bought Hubris when they were behind, and they also outperformed. And these people bought Hubris when they were even, and they still outperformed. So, you know, it's a much more effective method overall than win rate, in my opinion. At least it sounds like it. I'm no expert in this stuff, but... so long as they've got their stuff right and they have enough sample size, you know, that sounds pretty legit, and I really find that interesting. I really love the idea. And so, where am I going with this? Is that, believe it or not, Hubris shows itself to be statistically, or not statistically, but algorithmically the best first item on Caitlyn. Not just Caitlyn as well, also Misfortune. I really want to look for, I would really want to try out Misfortune as well, because Misfortune is actually the ADC I've noticed that has the highest expected win rate with Hubris. But we're starting with Caitlyn because I felt Caitlyn was a better pick here. And so, yeah, that is why we're going to be testing Hubris. It's actually a theory I've had for a long time, that a lot of ADCs do actually have Hubris as their optimal item. Or maybe not a lot, but at least some. But I can't point to win rate to justify that, right? Because, I mean, I'll look at the inflated number and be like, you know what? Even if this weren't inflated, this is probably still good, but there's just no way for me to prove that, right? But I do think that this machine learning route probably actually does get pretty close to accurate. So hey, I'm at least willing to give it a go. Oh yeah, and that site, of course, I should probably actually mention what the site is. It's called Coachless if you want to give it a go. That being said, it is you basically do need a subscription, which is like €6 a month, I think it was. Hang on. Yeah, by default, they only actually let you see the items for champions that are on the free champion rotation. Caitlyn is actually one of them, fully enough. But I also got a subscription to check a bunch of other champions as well. Because that's just interesting to look at to me. And obviously, I should remember. If I don't, remind me. But I will try to link it in the description. But anyway. Finally done explaining why we're doing this video, why we're building Hubris. We get on with the game. Alright. I need to play some vision before we can do anything else. I don't actually have any vision, so that just means I'm not going to do much of anything. Does Rakan? No, Rakan also doesn't have ward, so we just need to play safe. We can also start rotating towards this fight too. Nice one. Yeah, I mean, we have a neutral wave stood on bot and we don't need to crash or anything. We can just start the Drake. If I have to, if Jhin, for example, runs bot lane right now and just gets 3 to 4 CS, that I'm not gonna get because he's gonna choose not to contest the Drake, and I fall 3 to 4 CS behind in exchange for the Drake, that's a valid exchange. I will take that, you know? Is it perfectly optimal? No, I mean, in a perfect world, I would get to shove it in, then rotate to the Drake, then get back and miss 0 CS. But, you know, you're not gonna get perfect conditions every single fucking time. That's more than good enough. Now, what I would probably not accept is letting Jhin shove in a full wave while I do Drake. Then I would be forced to just abandon my team and go soak up the farm. I'm not gonna miss out on a full wave, especially a full cannon wave. But just letting 2 to 3 CS die naturally here, yeah, that's okay with me. Okay. It's probable they're not here. I'm not even gonna ward because I'm that confident, but I just had to be sure that they weren't in that bush first. Okay, that should be a crash even with the first wasted Q. Zac is on the way, won't be in time to freeze. For now, we can pick up an extra longsword. And of course, you want to, even if we say that Hubris is going to be optimal on Caitlyn, it's not necessarily optimal all of the time. If you're already a little bit more ahead, makes more sense to build it. If the enemy team is very squishy, makes more sense to build it. If they're very tanky, makes less sense to build it when you have the option of Yuntal instead. If you are already ridiculously behind, still makes... I don't know if I would say it makes 0 sense to build it, because it's not like... As long as your team is doing okay, you can still get stacks and get back into the game that way, but it still would make less sense to build it if you're behind. Especially if your team is behind. That being said, if you don't know when it's good or bad, I would say there's no harm in just building it every game and just testing, you know? Where does it perform well? Where does it perform bad? You should be learning. Okay, Jhin is really far from Zac there, so we get the free ult shot. That's a lot of harass. Gives me a first strike proc. Oh, and now he's chunked the fuck out. Okay, Elise is dead, so no, we're not worried about a gank from her. When we shove this in, we can go clear that pink ward. We are not under pressure though, but we should do it soon. Okay, so I want to make sure I crash this before the next wave arrives. And now we're going to go do it, because we want to make sure this is gone before Elise has time to get back into lane. There's no more pink wards in their inventories besides this, so we clear it. Now they have no more pink. They can still clear that with the red trinket, but at the very least, it's less likely. Okay, we see Elise topside, so we're still not worried about a gank. We're sitting on almost a trinket at this point, so I'm just going to go ahead and place a ward there. Okay, I'm gonna get a trinket up soon, and again, Elise is just not quite bot side yet, so I'm not too worried. I'm in a bad spot here. I'm gonna get hit by his Q if I stand there, so we walk all the way around, and now we're in a better position to pressure Jhin without walking into the Q bounce. So he's probably gonna try and loss hit this cannon with his W. I'm gonna walk in front. Yeah, and he's just gonna die for that because he got very greedy. Or is he gonna die? Maybe not. But they're gonna have to be very careful there now. And I swear to God, guys, that was not a sponsored segment. I am just a massive nerd. And I love testing builds. We should be able to get away with crashing an extra wave here. I may as well take his passive off if I can, right? Let's see if it kills. Ah, not quite. Oh well. It's not the end of the world. It's definitely not worth saying just to try and take off that passive. If he was actually gonna die if I could stay. I would, because although Jhin is gonna be getting back to line full HP, as long as Rakan was with me, then overall we'd still have the HP advantage and mana advantage, just because Zac would be fucking useless there, so we can stay. But obviously, the best I can do is remove his passive there. I'm not that fussed about that. We're not gonna stay just to try and remove his passive. Wait, what? Unexpected. I actually thought that was a Lux ult. I played against Lux last game. I don't know if it's... I think the skin might be adding to it as well. It felt thicker. I don't actually want to be shoving here because we know at least it's bot side, but I'm being forced into it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're literally trying to gank. Thankfully though, if they're not actually in position to freeze this, then we're fine. Yeah, there she is. Called it. So we should be fine. Does he? Oh no, he doesn't have wards. It looks like we're fine though. I can place a ward here now. Again, Jhin has no cover. We're gonna just ult him. Wait, what the? Where did he come from? Jesus. At least it's still here. Like, what the hell? Although, Expedu, if you're listening to this, please, please, please add the ability to look at multiple patches at once. Because sample size of fill is a huge issue. A lot of the time. Would be great if I could combine multiple patches where there were no changes to a champion or to their items. I love that about Lolalytics. Oh, that trap was awful. Oh, he can... Did he use his Q before it even landed? I feel like he did. It's gonna be a Jhin ult now, and of course we're ganked again, my god. Dude, I can't move! Like, I was trying to move straight to the right, but I was blocked. Alright, that sucks. No Elise, and that was a free fight. But oh well. I mean, to a degree, I can't just expect Elise to be bot side 24/7, which is what seems to be happening here. Oh well. Alright, so second item with this build, Collector. In theory, if they were to build enough armor, like be really tanky, there is a point where Lord Dominic second would actually be better, but presumably it would not just be like a Katarina mid lane just suddenly rushing Thornmill, you know? You'd probably be able to see, yeah, these are champions that are going to get pretty tanky, and if you can expect that it's going to be a game where you should do Lord Dominic second, it's also probably going to be a game where you should do Yuntal, or at least crit, instead of Hubris.
From the long arm of the law, nor from the scope of my rifle. An enemy has been slain.
Okay, that's the least top lane right now. I could still get ganked by Zac here. In theory, if I get ganked by Zac and Talon, could be... I'm actually a prophet. Yeah, I won't bother flashing. I got CC'd for far too long there. I'll try and do damage, I suppose, but I will. Yeah, that was a risk I was willing to take. I suppose I should have started backing off the moment Talon came on my screen, because we know that the other guy does not need to appear on my screen to be a threat. I mean, in theory, Talon doesn't have to either. He could have flanked me from here, but it's just a lot less likely compared to... Like, if they're both walking from base, Talon obviously would have to greatly inconvenience himself to walk around, whereas Zac is just natural. Alright, for now, we're gonna go bot. So we can see Katarina, the mid laner, is top. Garen, the top laner, is top. So both of these are top side. Neither one of them currently has access to bot side, which is where, obviously, bot lane is. I'm currently the only laner who wants to farm that can actually currently access bot lane, so I have to go bot lane. That is the only option. That being said, Katarina died. Maybe if I could predict that in hindsight, it doesn't actually matter too much whether I go mid or bot, because either way, there's one lane that isn't going to be farmed while that person is dead. And I can ult him again. Why not? Oh, he just removed my first strike though. How annoying. He actively chose to harass me with W instead of getting lost hits with his W. I keep thinking that's Lux ult, I swear to god, but yeah, this was also terrible pathing. Jesus Christ. Alright, we can try and place a trap there, but... Oh. No, I'm just getting out. Rakan is on the way, but so is Talon. There's nothing to do. Talon should get out with me. Rakan should get out with me, I mean. Good damage. That's all I can settle for. I think I've had... Yeah, I have 0 kill participation since buying Hubris. Kinda sad. But still, it's doing pretty decent damage.
Your team has destroyed a turret. Your team has destroyed a turret.
Okay, time to base. And so with this build, I think our preferred boots are gonna be Swifties. So basically, right now we don't... Because we have skipped a crit item, our DPS for basically the entire game until 6 items is gonna be lower. Or our synergy with building DPS is gonna be lower than if we had gone full crit from the start. So there's less value in doing Berserkers, especially these days when they're so nerfed. Please don't have W, please don't have W. Oh my god, she just happened to walk into a healing plant though. At least she fucking dies, god bless. And I got, finally, a Hubris stack from that. Okay, Zac is alive and Elise is alive. That is enough to be a threat to me, so I'm not gonna solo push mid. I've learned my lesson. We're just gonna help Diana with this. If I was playing something like Jinx with the Runans, I would probably go for the Raptors instead. Get myself some farm, but that would take forever as Caitlyn and cost me a lot of HP. I'm not gonna bother, we'll just help with the objective.
Always aware of her surroundings. I must always be 3 steps ahead.
He loves harassing with W. Every time I think it's Lux ult, bro. Every time. Jesus Christ. He read me like a book. Alright, there could be a Zac E from anywhere once again. It's unlikely it comes from over there. It's probably going to be from bot side if he does. That's where he last was. I hear Hubris has run out. Actually, I can keep on pushing here, I think, right? How many people are here? 3 so far? No, 4. There's nobody defending mid lane. Hero's over there. I think she probably still has TP on cooldown, right? So I hope at least that this is free. I'm playing an okay ADC for pushing turrets as well. Especially because I haven't wasted any gold, sorry, on crit, which obviously does not help with turrets. And because of kill and passive, we do a decent job of DPSing those turrets too. Oh god. Okay, they don't know that I just trapped this entire place. Now they do. Fine for now. Nice one. Oh man. Alright, Garen can stay. I'm the one that needs to base here. I'm low HP, so he's the one that should get the farm while I base. It would be greedy for me to stay when I'm the one that needs to base. Like I should not... Garen should not be the one that has to leave there. Do we want anti-heal? Honestly, probably yes. So... Can't actually afford... Actually, I probably could have just done this. I suppose I'll turn back for it. We'll settle for no Lost Whisper for now. Ideally, I would have just based on Lost Whisper, though.
Enemy killing spree.
Piltover's dog. I work for its people. No one else.
Oh, he died.
Brilliant.
Your turret has been destroyed.
The heart of Piltover is its people.
I'm taking a fairly decent sized risk there, but nice. Yeah, so because if I go flanked from somebody there, that could have gone very badly for me. But obviously that's not guaranteed. I think I had all summoners, right? I don't know if my flash just came up, but at least I had Ian barrier, so I wasn't super afraid. I just recognized that there was some room for that to go wrong. To be honest, yeah, no, that was troll from me. I don't think roasting Hurry is worth using my ult. Shit, I'm in such an awkward spot where I can just barely not auto there. Oh. Got her. Got him. Cool. Ah, god damn it. We make sure to run to the right. Make sure to run to the right there before we actually use my E on him, because I don't want to be netting away from him into, you know, closer to danger. I want to be netting away from him, away from the danger. So I needed to make sure I had the right angle there before I can use my E. He did a really poor job. I think he needed the hard commit to killing me. I think maybe he thought I was just going to die to Ignite and just start to leave me. I probably should have died there either way if he played it right. I can go for the Wolves and the Gromp and the Scuttle Crab here because they should probably get this. Well, what the hell? Well, I don't know if 100% there's going to be a fight. I don't know if I'm going to get there in time if there is. Their only guarantee is that if I go for these camps, I get 12 CS in the space of like 30 seconds. Which is a pretty good pace. So I've already got 8 CS. I'm about to get 12. Oh, no, that's down. Then we go mid then. Okay, Talon champion with very minimal sustain, so ulting him is pretty nice. Generally gets a little bit less valuable to ult ADCs throughout the game, just because they are gonna take, well, they're gonna take a lot of damage obviously, but they're gonna sustain it back up quite easily with Thorn's Blade and with Bloodline. For Talon, not so much the case, but he does have red buffs, so I guess that made it less value. I assume I did at least get the first strike from that though. So at least I got gold. Alright, and at this point, we're gonna want Infinity Edge. And at that point, our DPS will actually be pretty big. And so will our burst. Zac might be around though, gotta assume it's not just Talon by himself.
Never a dull moment.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Oh shit, I forgot about the Zac. Okay. Well, it worked out quite nicely for me this time. Jesus, nice. Yeah, so my Hubris actually, we started off really slow, but we're getting a lot of stacks out of it now. And you can see, so even, I think I did start off the lane technically 1-3-1, right? At no point did I actually feel like I was losing lane, because I think it was all just me dying to ganks or whatever. But even with that kind of a slow start, where you're not necessarily even winning lane, and you're definitely not getting kills in lane, and you don't even get kills for like immediately after the lane either, all it takes is like 1 or 2 fights and like, now I'm just really strong with this Hubris. Gaining 91 AD from it. And so obviously, if we're playing an ADC, which benefits a lot from AD and benefits a lot from lethality, those are the 2 things that I'm getting a lot of. There's just not a chance that that could possibly be bad. Even if it is a snowball item. Snowball items are not bad, just because their win rates are inflated, you know? It just makes their win rates very misleading. Please, please, I want it. I want it. Thank you. Holy shit, he almost one-shot those.
I love
I could do with basing for a BF sword at some point. Katarina's dead, so it feels like it should be a fairly good time to do it. Could also sell my Thorn's Blade. Do I want to do that? It's my only source of lifesteal right now, but you know what? I think it is worth.
I always aim to win, and my aim is perfect. No matter the situation.
That was easy. Alright, there's no Baron yet.
Crime is common, logic is rare.
There's no Zaka I have to be worried about right now. Oh, shit, I shouldn't have tanked that though.
I much prefer this to desk duty.
Just need to make sure I'm not getting sniped by an Elise W or that could catch me out. Holy fuck. Can't reach anybody. Okay. Zaka's alive. Okay, it doesn't matter. Alright, well, sure, not a game I had to 1v9 by any means, but even if I did, I mean, you can 1v9 with all sorts of builds. I don't think having a good game or a bad game, you know, proves or disproves any build being good or bad. You've ultimately just got to look at the damage, look at the conditions I was dealing the damage in, and think for yourself, did you think that was decent or not? I think it was decent. I mean, it didn't feel necessarily any much different than other lethality builds, and it's always going to be inconsistent to an extent. That's just the nature of the item. But, you know, for the reasons I've explained, I reckon it's probably good. But let me know your thoughts on the item, and also about Expect2's coaching side, I think it is. I mean, I don't know, I only use it for builds, but yeah. Let me know your thoughts. I hope you found this video educational, and you like and subscribe if you want to see more educational content like it, and I will see you guys on the next video. Later, gamers.